Hello, folks. Welcome to Club Hassim. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, both those of you in the house and those of you online. There are also people joining us on the live stream. Hello, Internet. My name's Abby. I'm going to be running the show for you tonight, and I have just a couple quick things to go over before we get to your music. I need to point out our fire exits. There's one up on stage just for emergencies, and there's the normal exit back out the way you came. Please take this moment to silence your cell phones and turn off your flash. Also a reminder that we ask that everyone wear masks when they're not actively eating or drinking. I know we have a little more space in the room, a little more elbow room in here than we did in January, in December with a lot of sold out shows. But if you could please remember to mask when you're not eating, that just helps everyone stay safe, especially our touring artists who need to do this as a living. So thank you for being conscientious. Let's have a hand for our server tonight, Erin, taking care of you folks. She's going to be coming around the whole show. Is there anyone who's never been to Club Hassim before? Anyone's first time here? Oh, a bunch. Amazing. Well, you were also in good company because our artist tonight, it's also his first time to the club. But for those of you who don't know much about us, we here are a nonprofit, and we have been operating as a nonprofit for about 28 years, but we've been a venue in Harvard Square for 64 years. And it's because of your support that we've been able to keep running as a nonprofit for as long as we have. We just finished our December fundraising campaign, and we hit our goal of $280,000, and that is because of your support. So thank you so much for donating, for becoming members, for coming out to shows, for watching the live streams, for buying the rosemary French fries. Everything that you do with us really helps us keep running. So in addition to having shows in the club 7 nights a week, we also run a school of music upstairs. We just started a new semester up at the school. We also have several festivals throughout the year. This weekend we have our 20th anniversary of the Boston Celtic Music Festival. We also have a bluegrass and old time festival coming up in April. And during the summer we do a lot of free outdoor summer concert series. So there's a lot of ways you can get involved with us, whether that is checking out the calendars on your tables. You'll be able to see the shows that are coming up for the next couple months, the full lineup for our Celtic Music Festival this weekend, as well as the lineup for our Sunday morning live music brunches. If you like brunch and bluegrass, come on out. We've got lots of great things going on here. So thank you for coming out tonight, and I hope that you are interested in getting involved further. Before we get to your music for tonight, I would like to introduce our favorite volunteer, one of the sponsors of the Discovery Series, here to talk about our artist tonight and to tell you about some future Discovery Series. Please help me welcome Chuck Honnett.
Hello, everybody, and happy 2023 as we start a new year here at the Discovery Series. We are in our 8th year of this amazing thing that we do here at Club Hassim, and our theme in this past campaign, and probably is going to be our theme going into for most of this year, is Discover Hassim. And this is a special opportunity that was created by Matt Smith and curated now by Abby, who you just heard from, which brings new artists into the club. And tonight is a special night for us because Dylan has never performed here. He hasn't been in an open mic, he hasn't been in a campfire, and this literally is his first time at the club. So we are all about to discover a new artist. As kind of one of the traditions we have in the Discovery Series is we give away a free CD to some lucky person in the audience, and we have a drawing which is about to take place. And Dylan has a recording that we're going to sample somebody tonight with. And so Rich, one of our loyal patrons, is going to pick the name out. I sometimes ask him, so he's very used to this. Thank you, Rich, very much. And he didn't pick out his own name, which is very convenient. One time that happened, and I think he got a little gun shy from entering after that happened. Anyway, so the winner is Julia Kelly. Is Julia here in the audience, please? Okay, so Julia, come on up and get your. This is a specially signed CD from Dylan, and in talking to Dylan about his music. He is in the process this year of recording 2 more albums. One is going to be all new music, and one is going to be some of his older music that is going to be reconstituted. And then he's going to be touring, of course, all year long. And you'll all have an opportunity to get some of those releases as they happen during the year as single releases. So thank you all for being here at the Discovery Series tonight. We've got lots of great things planned. We'll have a show in February, March. We're still working through what that schedule looks like. I'll just make a special mention for a show in March, which is the 3 Mile Island Songwriting Retreat. It's an amazing 2 nights of music. If you've never seen one of those shows, it's 12 to 13 artists who get together on an island in New Hampshire, and it's just an amazing group of people who write the songs in January or during the summer, and then they come here and perform them for the very first time together in March. So watch for that show on March 19th and 20th. And then there is a Discovery Series for April, and it's a special night, which is the Iguana Music Fund night. Every year, PASIM, as we mentioned, gives out about $40,000 in grants to artists, and they use them on projects. And we are lucky enough to have some of those artists from 2022 that are going to be scheduled to perform in April at the April Discovery Series. So it's the second Monday of the month. Check it out, and we're all happy that you've tuned in on the internet and also here in the club. So just by way of brief introduction to Dylan, he is from Southern Vermont, I believe. He's got a couple of recordings, as I mentioned. He described his music as dark comedy. And so we're going to see how that all plays out tonight for the very first time on the PASIM stage. So please welcome Dylan Patrick Ward.
Hello. When the walls come down and the towers burn, and they take our town, saying it's their turn. When the line is breached, the dead start rolling through. Ooh, who's gonna love you? Ooh, who's gonna love you? When the walls come down and the queen is dead and the mob's in town and they want your head and they torch the place that you were running to. Ooh, who's gonna love you? Ooh, who's gonna love you? When you cannot run and you cannot hide and they tear you limb from limb. Ooh, who's gonna be your friend? When the torches gleam and their eyes get mean and they're all fixed on you. Ooh, who's gonna love you? Ooh, who's gonna love you? When the walls come down, the cities burn, and they gather around saying, now you'll learn, and one by one, your friends abandon you. Ooh, who's gonna love you? Ooh, who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you? Who's gonna love you? Thank you. I don't know how much comedy there is in that song in particular, but that's the most serious song that I have. I like to get it out of the way right up front. It's really cool to be here at Club PASIM and in Cambridge, Mass. This is only the second time I've ever been to Cambridge, Mass. I don't get out much. I came here a couple hours early. I got to walk around. I walked around Harvard, which is really neat. The SMAT kids. Where the SMAT kids go. There weren't a lot of kids there because I think they're on vacation, but there was a few walking around. They looked smart, I guess. Looked kind of normal, but this is a song. The song is a love song of sorts. It's called The Cat Song. If I was a cat, I'd sit in the window and I would lick my butthole while you watch TV. And if I was a cat, I'd sit down beside your head, lick the space between my toes when you were trying to sleep. And if I was a cat, lay down by the door, look up at you with sad eyes when you tried to leave. And if I was a cat, and you were feeling sad, I'd sit down beside you and keep you company. If I was a cat, I'd eat a bunch of plastic, and then you'd have to chase me down and take it from my mouth. And if I was a cat, I'd chase all the bugs around, but I would never catch a one, and I'd never catch a mouse. And if I was a cat, I'd cry outside the bathroom door, and I would not stop crying till you came back out. And if I was a cat, lazy Sunday afternoons, you and I would take a nap together on the couch. And I would miss the beer, and I would miss the movie theater, and I would miss the human food, and I'd miss having sex. And I'm not so crazy about dying when I'm 15, but I guess I wouldn't know no better, and I guess that would be best. If I was a cat and you had people over, I'd hiss at all the children, swat at the old guys. When I got outside, I would fight a dog, and I'd get uglier and meaner with each year that went by. And I'd hate every person and every other cat and every animal, the thing that wasn't you. And one day you would find me dead behind the futon, and then you'd stick me in an urn and go get someone new. First you would cry, just like I cried when you would capture me, take me to the vet. If I was your cat, I'd be miserable and lazy, but you would still love me because I was your pet. If I was your cat, I would drive you crazy, but you would still love me because I was your pet. Thank you. The person who won the CD is my aunt. Yeah. This, yeah, right. Yeah. This is the first song on that CD. It's so I had this friend in high school who his grandmother was like this crazy hippie that lived in the woods, and she's the kind of lady that like she had a bunch of ladybugs in her house because she like went and bought some ladybugs and released them into her house. I don't know where she bought the ladybugs, but anyway, she was really into UFOs, and one time when we were over there, she had us looking into her telescope, and she had like it all mapped out where she had seen UFOs before, and she was showing us and all that stuff. I think it was Mars that she was looking at, but anyways, she seemed to take a lot of comfort in the idea that there was like life out there in the universe, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Like she would because I think it's scary that there'd be life out there in the universe, but she thought it was very comforting, and I had that idea just in my head for a while. And then I tried to write this song about something completely different. That idea kind of snuck its way in. So the song's called Little Green Men. Dad was in the army and your mom dropped out of college. You're working at a hotel and living at your dead aunt's house. You got a 4-year party and a whole lot of useless knowledge. You're one bad day away from emptying your bank account. Money's tight, but you're always at the bar. Those are UFOs, not shooting stars. You're a real nice guy and everyone seems to like you. You're not bad looking and people always say you're smart. But there ain't much about life left to excite you. You got a new beer belly, gray hairs, and a broken heart. You hold your breath every time you start your car. Get upset every time you can't see Mars. You got a cousin down south who thinks that the world is ending, but he's got guns and dry goods to see him through. But you can't think of a message that's worth sending to the little green men who are looking after you. You hear a little voice outside the bar telling you to stay right where you are. Thank you. So yeah, I'm trying to put together an album this year with a couple friends of mine, taking some old songs that I wrote and re-releasing them with some new arrangements. In 2020, I put out 4 albums of songs that I just wrote and recorded on my laptop alone in my bedroom. And this is one of them. And it's about a 15-year-old that tries to start a band with his friends. It doesn't go very well. It's called Post-Hardcore Will Never Die. What do you say we start a post-hardcore band? I got the practice space in the basement. You play the guitar and I'll be the leading man. We can write our songs over summer vacation. I got some lyrics written in a notebook, and I got a cousin who just got a drum set. We can open for our favorite bands and make everyone realize post-hardcore will never die. We've got 3 songs, let's put out an EP. See about getting a Masonic temple shoot. We'll write our names in Sharpie on the CD. Save one for the girl with the stud in her nose, so she can see the talent I've been hiding, so she can hear the poetry of my words. Everybody in this scene is gonna lose their minds. Post-hardcore will never die. So many nights I've dreamt about the day when it would be us up on that stage. I could tell you that it's all for fun, but that would be a lie. Post-hardcore will never die. We got lost on the way to our first show. We were gonna open for some bands that we both loved. We got into a fight on the side of the road. When we got there, our faces were covered in blood. And the bands had left and everyone had gone home. And you threatened to smash my head into the sidewalk. And we haven't spoken since, and I still have that black eye. Post-hardcore will never die. Post-hardcore will never die. Post-hardcore will never die. Thank you. About a year ago, I was having some trouble sleeping, and I got prescribed sleeping medication called Zolpidem. Zolpidem is the generic form of Ambien, and all I knew about Ambien was that it was notorious for making people hallucinate and for making people tweet crazy stuff. So when I got prescribed, I was a little worried that I was going to hallucinate and tweet some crazy. I don't even have a Twitter. I thought I was going to go and make a Twitter and just start tweeting crazy stuff. That didn't happen, but it was a weird time being on it. And right in the middle of like the time period when I was on it and I wasn't sleeping very much, I wrote this song. It's called Zolpidem. Zolpidem, you worm your way into the hearts of men. I try to hate you, but I can't pretend, 'cause in the end I'll come crawling back to you. Zolpidem, you got me sleeping in the chair again. You got me drooling on the couch cushions. I know it's a sin to ask so much of you, but I remember what it was like just laying in bed all night with bloodshot eyes until you heard my cries. Zolpidem, so much better than melatonin. I swear I'll never waste my time again with Tylenol PM. It's you and only you. Zolpidem, I'm nodding off behind the wheel again. I'm losing touch with what is real again. They say you're no friend, but I know it's not true. 'Cause some folks dream of heaven, but all I want after I die is a good night's sleep for eternity without Zolpidem. I hate you, Zolpidem. I love you, Zolpidem. I love you, Zolpidem. Somebody suggested I try to sell that song like as a jingle, but I don't know if generic sleep medications are really advertising much. Maybe I could rewrite it for Vicodin. Vicodin, so much better than Oxycontin. I swear I'll never waste my time with Percocets again. I gotta work on it. Vicodin, that's a whole other song. Oh man. So yeah, I come from a little southern Vermont town called Bellows Falls, and there's a story in Bellows Falls about this guy who drank 100 beers in one day, and which is a lot. I can't imagine. My wife always makes fun of me because I drink 2 drinks and I'm ready to go to bed. But he drank 100 beers one day. Apparently, I don't know if it's true. I don't know any of the details about it, but I just thought it was a funny idea, so I made up my own details and wrote this song. It's called "The Man Who Drank 100 Beers," and then in parentheses, in one day. man who drank 100 beers, drank them in one day, kissed his wife and kids, went out on his way. He hadn't had a day off work since 1992. Everybody in the town knew what he planned to do. He drank 97, 98, and 99. He was feeling fine. Then he drank the 100th, and to everyone's surprise, he fell off the bar stool and died. He had the biggest funeral the town had ever seen, and he went out a hero for dying for his dreams. He was an inspiration to all who reach for glory. Every drunk in every town soon to know his story. The bar became a pilgrimage as the legend grew. Folks came from far and wide. The owners put a velvet rope around that fateful stool and had a statue built outside. Left without a cent, and they were put out on the street when they couldn't make the rent. They lived like nomads and they moved from town to town. She would play the accordion and the kids would dance around. But interest in the man who drank 100 beers, time began to fade. The bar burned down and the owners lost it all. Bad investments that they made. Man who drank 100 beers, man who drank 100 beers. The song was originally written as a Christmas song, but it's not really explicitly about Christmas, but it does take place in winter, so I feel like I can play it now. It's called Rusty the Snowman. Rusty the Snowman was made out of slush in a yard by the side of the road. An old Newport light button hung from his mouth. Rocks were his eyes and his nose. And the kids found a hat in the dumpster out back of the pharmacy on their way home. Put it on his head, and the snowman, he said, life's a bitch, and we all die alone. Rusty the Snowman smoked and he drank and liked to watch court shows all day. He said life is sick, just an old dirty trick that only a cruel God would play. And he thought it'd be nice just to be some ice, a puddle, or an old gray cloud. And he dreamt of the day when he'd melt away and sink like rain into the ground. Christmas and New Year's had both gone by, so had Valentine's Day. One little girl came to say her goodbye with a sad little look on her face. She said, Rusty, I know that you're a prick, but even so, I wish there was a way you could stay. So to please her, he moved into the freezer, and that's where he lives to this day. Rusty the Snowman, Rusty the Snowman. Rusty the Snowman. Thank you. The original inspiration for that song was I work at an elementary school, and I don't know if you've ever seen like the snowmen that little kids actually build in real life, not in the cartoons, but they're pretty horrifying. They're like these little mutant abominations with like one stick coming out of the top of their head and the one eye is down here. And I was just looking at one and thinking, like, I wonder if you put a magic hat on that one and brought it to life, what it would have to say, what it would think about existence. So this next song is about a guy who used to work at a video rental store that I went to back in high school. And it was a video rental store that had been around town since I was a little kid, and it had moved locations a couple times, but in its heyday, in like the golden age of video rentals when I was a little kid, it was right next to a pizza place. So it was like my favorite place because we'd go rent movies, which is exciting, and it smelled like pizza. And there was like a Jerry's Kids gumball machine, so I knew I was going to get a gumball on the way out. But we ended up like falling afoul of the place. I think we owed them like $9, so we just stopped going, and we started going to this one right outside of town. Because you can do that. You can just duck the movie. They're not sending anybody to get that $9. You can just duck them. But then by the time I was in high school, I like opened my own account with them, and they had this new location, and it was interesting to watch them, like, as video rental stores started to fall apart all over the country. This place was, like, trying so hard. They were diversifying. They were selling beer. It was, like, weird brands of beer I'd never heard of before. And they had hot dogs. Like, they had one of those rotisserie hot dog things. And they were selling Christmas trees. They were just trying so hard. But it just didn't work out. But there was this guy that worked there. And when I was in high school, I thought he was really cool because he was kind of this, like, nerd guy who knew about all the cool movies and stuff, but he was also like, him and his friends all like had dropped out of high school, and they had their own rap crew, and I thought they were really cool. And I don't know what happened to him, but this song was inspired by him. This is what I would like to imagine happened to him. It's called The Fall and Rise of Platypus. Doing 5 beats a day for 3 summers, working at Shaw's. You and your friends made a crew of dope mummers, and you broke a few laws. Woke up in a hospital bed with a bad pain in your jaw. You got personal with your first record, called it The Devil's Maw. You took acid, read a lot of science fiction, went on a lot of long walks. A third of your crew was sent away to prison, and the others started smoking rock. But you got sober, started meditating, did the best just to clear your head. You didn't write a single bar the year they found Joey dead, and there's no telling what's around the bend. Time is your worst enemy, and time's your only friend. Perpetually broken, perpetually on the mend. Platypus will rise again. Platypus will rise again. You were discovered on MySpace. The next thing you know, you're in Boston signing some kid's hat in the parking lot after a show. You met a girl who could spit hot fire, and you joined her on the road. You got personal with your next record, called it Coming Home, and there's no telling what's around the bend. Time is your worst enemy, and time's your only friend. Perpetually broken, perpetually on the mend. Platypus will rise again. Platypus will rise again. cool to play at a place that Tom Waits played one time. That's pretty cool, man. I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I bet Tom Waits drove down this street on his way here. It's like walking across. I was like, I bet Tom Waits walked across this street. All right. I don't know how old the park benches are here, but I was kind of thinking, like, yeah, I bet Tom Waits sat on this park bench. Now, Tom Waits, when I first started writing songs, I was obsessed with Tom Waits, and I, like, wasted a year and a half of my life writing all these, like, Tom Waits rip-off songs that are horrible. And, like, I know that happens to everybody when they're starting out, they're trying to find their voice, they, like, rip off, but I didn't know if I had to go on for a year and a half. Like, every song I wrote was just... and then I try to sing about some creepy shit. But it's tough, man. He can pull it off. He can pull off things that are really hard to pull off, and that's like his superpower. But I could not pull it off. But this next song was like the first song that I wrote where I was like, all right, this is like a better voice for me. It makes more sense for me, and it's a better fit. And so this is like the second oldest song I think that I still play. And it's inspired by like the kind of crazy people and places that I hung out with and went to when I was in high school, and it's called Weird Night. Fell asleep in a blind man's arms. It was a weird night. Woke up next to a mastiff dog. It was a weird night. There were cigarettes and the birthday cake. Two men came and took Joey away. Now we're sitting at a diner at 5 a.m. hoping that it's all right. It was a weird night. It was a weird night. You got 2 less teeth and 2 new tats. It was a weird night. Guy with the red hat, guy with the blue hat got into a fist fight. Tom took a trip out to outer space, and then he tried to rip all the skin from his face. And if we hadn't have tied his wrists up, he might have scratched away his eyesight. It was a weird night. It was a weird night. Spent the laundry mat with our clothes all wet with rain, trying to figure out why it all turns out the same. Could really use some Chinese food, or really any food at all. Gotta get my shit together. I gotta get my shit together. Well, the night that you left and you didn't come back, it was a weird night. The bathroom mirror was full of cracks. I stared into it all night, wondering where you had gone, what it was that I'd done wrong. Well, I guess you meant it when you said that you were done with this life. It was a weird night. It was a weird night. It was a weird night. I would be remiss if I didn't, if I went the whole show and didn't mention that I have a Patreon account. You gotta have a Patreon account. You guys should all get, even if you don't make any kind of art, just get one. Maybe somebody will give you money. No, but I have a Patreon, and I do this thing called Sunday Morning Song. Where every Sunday morning I post a new song, usually that I wrote either that morning or the day before, and it's nice. I've only done it a couple weeks so far, so we'll see how it goes. But so far it's been fun because I work well with deadlines. Like I need deadlines and if left to my own devices, I would just sit around and eat chicken fingers and watch YouTube. So it's nice to have some kind of structure and deadlines. And a couple years ago, I wrote an album called I like wrote some songs for an album called Free Couch, and how I wrote that album was I wrote a song a day for like 10 days, and then that was the album. And so I just had to take whatever the first idea I had that morning was. I was like, all right, that's gonna be the song. And I was living at the time. I was living in a house where there was like birds living in the attic that had gotten in, and there were squirrels that were living in the walls. So I was like, all right, there's 2 lines. See where that goes. And so I started with that, and then I got this song out of it. It's called Birds in the Attic. There are birds living in the attic. There are squirrels running through the walls. There are rats chewing through the plastic. There are javelinas grazing where there used to be a mall. And the porch collapses and crushes me inside as I think about the things that once were mine. There's a fist fight in the parking lot over one last scrap of food. You used to love me, I used to love you too. Nomads picking through the wreckage. There are warlords vying for control. But even the most powerful among them will begin to lose advantage once the sickness takes its hold and the gods have vacated their throne, allowed the lower beings to run amok. Wood sprites and satyrs colonize our home as our town succumbs to rust and the porch collapses, crushes me inside as I assure you everything is fine. The clouds are dark as night and the sky's no longer blue. You used to love me, I used to love you too. Love me, I used to love you too. You used to love me, I used to love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I'm just going to do a couple more songs and then call it a night. This has been really great. I'm super stoked to play here. I've been playing out for like about 1.5 years now, and when I started out I was just so confused. I didn't know like where to play or what to do or who to talk to, and I'm kind of slowly figuring it out. And I feel like I'm on the path now. Like it's a long path, but I feel like I'm on the road, and that feels good. And yeah, this is a song. It's relatively new, and it's I wrote it in the summer, but it's going to be released as a single at the end of the month, or around the end of the month, January 23rd. So keep an eye out for that. The song's called A Friendly Place. Homeless people set up shop in the Chinese buffet parking lot. Old men drinking paps down at the park. Dirty barefoot kids with pop guns terrorize the pharmacy. Just make sure you get home before dark. Drinking vodka by the handle. Yuppies wearing socks with sandals. School board meetings, Facebook come to life. QAnon and revolution, everyone's got their solution that they'll tell you all about tonight. carnies selling glowing hats in an alley full of feral cats. Fireworks light up the skies at night. Severance pay for crooked cops. Slumlords buy up vacant lots. Buprenorphine makes you feel alright. That's the next line. Oh, yeah. Artists drinking gin and tonic. Old arcades become ironic. Football team just got another win. Public access TV stations full of doomsday revelations. Ice cream parlors still raking it in. Swimming hole that's full of trash, E. coli and broken glass, laundromat where all the deals go down. Cumbies pizza, natty ice, Velveeta on minute rice, black bear roaming free around the town. Temporary traffic light, local taverns open mic, lovers quarrel, fist fight in the square. Basketball hoops with no nets, ban on menthol cigarettes, nowhere local to buy underwear. Scholarships for bright young kids doing what their parents did. Old folks on the porches griping things just ain't the same. Turtles, sandbox, wiffle bat, Shriners with their little hats. Old bathtub fills up with summer rain. Thank you. There's a lot of words in that song. It's hard to remember them all. All right, I'm going to play one more song. This is a song that I actually co-wrote with my friend Clinton Hoffman, not Bill Clinton. He's a singer-songwriter from Saratoga Springs, New York, and he has a great bluegrass punk band called Brain Medicine. And he also makes music videos. He's made some music videos for me. But yeah, we wrote this song together, and it's the last one I'm going to play tonight. I've got CDs for sale over on the merch table when you first walk in over there, and there's some stickers which are free, and there's an email list you can sign up for. I send out emails to the email list about once a month, and I try to make them humorous and worthwhile and informative. This has been a lot of fun. I'd love to come back and play again sometime. I'd love to come back and play again and again. Anyways, this song's called Can't Live Anywhere. Can't live in the city 'cause I ain't got the money. I hate driving in traffic and think all the wrong stuff's funny. Can't live in the country 'cause I hate working, bearing all those burdens that I'd rather be shirking. Can't live alone, or else I'd be blue. And if we moved in together, I'm sure I'd grow to hate you, and you'd grow to hate me, and wouldn't want me there. Yeah, a man like me can't live anywhere. By the river, for fear that I may drown. And some ornery alligator wears my snakeskin boots to town. Can't live by the cornfield, I might get lost. Start making crop circles in the shape of the Holy Cross. Can't live alone, I can't stand myself. A good distraction as much as anyone else. So I beg you please, forgive my stare. A man like me can't live anywhere. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great new year. This was great. Thank you.
That's Dylan Patrick Ward, his first time playing in Cambridge. Hopefully not his last. You can check out his Facebook if you want to see some of his upcoming shows. He's got a few more scheduled already for this year. You can join his Patreon and follow along with his New Year's resolution to do those Sunday morning songs. Or you can just grab a CD on your way out at the merch table. Molly can help you with that. Thank you all for tuning in tonight online and in person. This was another fantastic edition of the Discovery Series. Please come back and join us the second Monday of every month to discover more great music. Thank you all for coming out, and we'll see you next time.